All right, everybody, we'll get started. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules to look at ProjX360. Little background about the company and myself. I've been in the custom integration industry myself for about 30 years. Besides the software company, I still actively own an integration company based in Scottsdale, Arizona, and Kona, Hawaii. I started that company back in 2001. In 2010, I started a development company, but at that time we were just doing development for other businesses. In 2013, I was kind of in the same boat as everybody else. I was looking for a good project management software to run my integration company. Tried some things off the shelf, but as you know, we have some little unique nuances to our industry that didn't always work out. So my developers have always worked for me. So my senior developer goes, hey, why don't we build something for you? So we got together with my project managers and my service coordinator and basically scoped out just the project management part of the software. We spent 2013 and part of 2014 building it, rolled it out to my team in 2014. They liked it. So in 2015, we brought it to Cedia for the first time. And then we rolled out just the project management part in February of 16. Since then, we've added a sales CRM to track your sales opportunities. We've added a proposal generation tool so you can generate your proposals. We've enhanced the project management, time tracking, scheduling, work orders, service work orders. Added a full inventory management system where you can actually allocate product to specific projects. And we have a lot of custom reporting you can do. We integrate with QuickBooks, both online and desktop for accounting, and we also integrate with Portal for database management. So what I'll do today is I'll go through a full demonstration of our workflow, and then after that, you can use the questions section to ask questions, and we'll answer questions after the demo. I appreciate you guys, again, taking all your time, so we'll get started. So right now I'm on our sales CRM dashboard, and on that dashboard, you can see what's in your overall pipeline, what's been added to your pipeline in the last 30 days, what's been won or lost in the last 30 days, what's been won or lost year to date. You can see what's in each individual salesperson's pipeline, and that's clickable to go into. When a new lead comes in, you'll go over to clients. You'll then go over to the menu over here and go to add clients. Here's where you'll fill in either first and last name and company name. We have both a site address and a billing address you can enter. You can assign your salesperson. You can also set up different sources in the settings to track where your business is coming from. You can create different statuses. You can create different tags. You can also create custom fields. So any additional information you want your team to gather, you can create those. Once you're done entering everything, you'll hit save. That'll save that client to your local data table here. We have a nice search feature that you can search by name, by company, by phone number, by email. When you click on the client, it'll open what we call the client profile page. Here's where you'll see all the information that you entered, including those custom fields you created. You can add opportunities to a client, and your opportunities will be listed down here with the open opportunity value up here. During the sales process, salespeople can create activities for themselves. Activities can be anything. It could be to do a follow-up call, to set an appointment. They can also give those activities due dates. And then on that due date, they'll get an automated email called the Daily Rundown, which is basically a list of their agenda for that day so things don't fall through the cracks. We have a sales calendar where salespeople can enter their sales meetings. We have a notes section where they can add notes. And when they do add notes, it does stamp the author and the date and time that note was added. Over time, you'll be able to see any associated records with this client. So any projects, any proposals, any work orders, any invoices, and all of these are clickable to go into. And we'll cover each one of those areas in detail throughout the demonstration today. When you go inside of an opportunity, you can see what the estimated value of that opportunity is. what your expected close date is, how long that opportunity's been aging, all the information about the opportunity. Salespeople can upload any documents they gather during the sales process, so plans, scopes of work, whatever. But now, let's say you've met with the client and you're ready to generate that proposal. What you'll do right from the opportunity is go to the menu and you'll go to Add Proposal. It'll then push all the information over into our proposal side of the platform. In our proposals, you can create templated scopes of work. You can create templated proposal agreements or contracts. You can create pricing rules, and pricing rules can be a variety of things. It might be how you calculate miscellaneous parts. It might be how you give a discount. Basically, it's a percentage, positive or negative, and then you can determine how that percentage is calculated, either from the equipment total, from the labor total, or from both. And you can have as many pricing rules on a proposal as you wish. In the settings, you'll set up all your different sales tax rates and select the one that best applies. Also in the settings, you can create different payment schedules. And how our payment schedules work, they're a percentage of the total, and you can actually progress invoice off of those once the proposal's approved. Also in the settings, when you're setting everything up, you're going to create all your locations that you use on a regular basis. And then you simply drag over to the right the locations you want to apply to this particular proposal. You can arrange the order they appear on the proposal to your customer here. Also, by location, you can create different scopes of work per location if you want to get into that much detail for your proposals. You can also create systems. This is the filter. You can create whatever kind of systems you want, like it could be control systems, audio, video, televisions, and I'll show you how that filter works in a little bit. But once you're done with all the settings here, you can then go to one of our builders. We have two different types of builders. We have the core builder and the power builder. They both, feature-wise, they both have the same exact features. It's just a UI difference. The core builder is a little more consolidated and a little more easier to read than the power builder. So let's go into the core. When I go into that, you can see a list of all your locations that you set up. And now you can add product a few different ways. The first option is you can build a local product database in our product manager over here. And then you can search your local product database either with a generic search feature or by brands or by categories. When you click one, let's say this, I click brands here, I can then select the brand I want to search. Let's say it's Sony. It'll pull all my Sony product up that I have in my database. I can find the product I'm looking for, and then I can expand the location I want to put it in. So let's say I want this 85-inch television in the office. I can grab it and just drag it in there if I wish. You can add accessories to product if you want. For this example, this television has a fixed mount and an arm mount associated to it to remind the salesperson, hey, you need some kind of wall mount for this television. Let's say for this example, I want to do the fixed. I can turn off the arm so it doesn't add it and just go add. And it'll now add the television and the fixed mount to the proposal. Another way you can add product to a proposal is our multi-add feature. So if I hit the plus symbol over here, it'll pull up any accessories that are associated to that product. I can then select all the different locations I would like to put that product into. And then I can select the system, which in this case would be televisions. All the locations will appear down here, and I can adjust the quantity to what I want per location. So it's a quick, easy shortcut to add a product to multiple areas and with different quantities all at once. Another way you can bring product in is we do have an integration with Portal. So if we go to the menu here and go to Portal Search, we can search Portal's database. So let's say I'm looking for a Crestron and I know it's a DM, RMC. I can just type that in. It'll reach out to Portal's database, bring back everything that's related. I can find the product I want to bring in, and it'll bring in the product image, the manufacturer, the model, the description, your pricing that you have set up with that manufacturer and portal, and you can go add to queue, and it'll add it to the queue, and you can sit here and add as many items to the queue. You can then bring it into the proposal and actually save that product to our local database here, but it also maintains that connection to portal if you do that. And so if Crestron does a pricing update, you can go over to your product manager here and select all your Crestron product and go refresh the portal, and it'll update all your pricing for you, so you don't have to manually do that. And then you can also build packages. So if you have your favorite surround sound system or conference room that you sell a lot of, you can just build it one time, and then you can bring those packages into the proposal also, and it'll bring all that product you had in that package into the proposal. You can clone entire proposals, but now let's say we're done building this and we want to generate the proposal for the customer. I can go to the menu here, go to generate. I can filter the proposal by category, by location, by manufacturer, or by system. Also, we have a bunch of advanced options. Like, do you want to show product images? Do you want to show line item pricing? You can sit here and play with the different settings to get the proposals the way you look, the way you'd like, and then it'll save it as a template. Over here are those systems that we talked about earlier. Like I mentioned, it's a filter. So let's say, for instance, I just wanted to generate a proposal for the customer, only showing them items under control system. I can turn off audio, video, and televisions, or any kind of combination of those. You can create your own color scheme to match your company brand. You can upload as many cover images as you'd like. And then you can either download a PDF, or we have an email feature that you can email a link to the customer. And when you do that, it'll pull up the proposal. It'll have your cover color scheme that you selected, the client information, the cover image you selected. This would be your company logo and information. Here's that scope of work we selected. And in this case, I broke everything out by location with product images and line item pricing. I can break labor out by phase if I wish. Here's that pricing rule for miscellaneous parts, and it did all the math for me. Here's the total. Here's the payment schedule I selected, and it did all the math. Here's the proposal agreement I selected. And then there's an electronic signature box here for your customers where they can do an electronic signature, hit approved. It'll send you a notification, but then also in the system here, under revisions, you can see the date and time that proposal was approved. So now that the proposal was approved, we can actually create a project. So right from the proposal here, we can go to the menu. We can go to add project. It'll then ask you to select who your project manager is going to be. It'll ask you to push the proposal over along with all the labor phases and labor hours. It'll send a notification to that project manager that they have a new project they're in charge of. And it creates what we call a project details page, which is basically going to be the dashboard for the life of this project. And I'll walk you through all this. So first off, think of a project more as a location than a client. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a client here, but if you looked at a flow chart of how our industry works, you have the client on top, and then underneath the client, they could have multiple projects going on. It might be a homeowner with multiple homes. It might be a business with multiple locations. And that's exactly how we design the software. If you go to the menu over here and go to project products, your project managers and technicians can see any proposals or change orders related to this project. They could click on any one of these to open it, and it pulls up the entire proposal except for pricing, and they can filter that proposal by location, by phase, by brands, by model number, or by system. And then also from here, your project managers are the ones that know when things need to be ordered or allocated as this project moves along. So they can highlight any product they're ready to have ordered or allocated, and they can go to the menu here and go to add to product request. it'll update the status to requested so they know they requested it. And then in our inventory system, we have a product request page for your purchasing and inventory department that sorts everything by project that needs to be ordered or allocated. And I'll show you that a little later in the demo. If we go back to that project details page, though, there's a lot of information here, and I'll walk you through all this. The other thing that happened when you push that proposal over, it pushed all the labor phases and labor hours into our time tracking module. So you can track time against what was bid versus actual, and you can see instantly if a phase goes over budget because it'll turn red like this, and you can click and drill down into that to see why that's maybe going over budget. Over here, you can see all the work orders ever created for the life of this project. And we have two types of work orders in the system, and you can filter by them. We have project work orders, which are the work orders created during the build of the project. And then we have service work orders, which are the service calls after the fact. At any time, you could click on one of these previous work orders to see what work was done. And we'll come back and go through work orders in detail in a couple minutes because they do a lot. Another feature we have in our system is called custom checklists. We allow you to create any kind of checklist you'd like for the different types of processes you might have in your organization. Like you could have a pre-wire checklist, a trim checklist, a final QC checklist. When you click on a checklist, it'll open it. You can see what's been completed and what hasn't been. People can check things off as they finish, and it does stamp who checked it off and when for accountability, and it updates the percentage of completion of that checklist. Over here's a really cool collaboration tool for you and your team called Discussions. So we allow you to create a discussion about this project right from the project. To do that, just go to the menu here, go to Add Discussion, and you can then give the discussion a title. You can start the discussion, and then you can select who from your team all needs to partake in this discussion. They'll all get a notification with the link to the discussion. When they click on that link, it opens it and they can reply to it. And now it creates a nice threaded conversation that lives right in the project for your records. Over here is where you create one-off tasks. So the majority of your tasks for your technicians and everything are going to be done inside of work orders that I'm going to show you in a couple minutes. But there's always a need to create a one-off task. An example of a one-off task could be to create a task for the office manager to invoice for the deposit. When you create a task in our system, you'll give it a title, you'll describe it, you'll assign it, you'll give it a due date. They'll get a notification that a new task was created for them, but then also you can get notified anytime the status changes of one of your tasks. Over here's our cloud storage, so you can upload any documents related to this project. So floor plans and engineering, pre-wire photos, system programs, whatever you want, you can create as many folders as you'd like, and then you can upload all your different documents to it. So everything related to this project now lives right in the project and everybody knows where everything is. Over here, you can see all your invoice history. As this project ages and goes into service mode, you can create a service repair ticket for product that needs to go in for repair. And now you got a log of all the product that's ever gone in for repair for the life of this project. We're tied to Google Maps, so you can see where the project is. You can see any open purchase orders right here. We have a general notes section where you can add notes. And then if you go back up to the main menu here and go to custom forms, we allow you to create as many different kinds of forms as you'd like. Like you could have a network form that houses all the client's network information, their SSID and different access points. You could have a system design form that in the processor, you can see what's in the different COM ports, the different relays, how the video or audio distribution is laid out. Whatever you'd like, you can create as many forms and as many checklists as you wish. Going into work orders, we created a nice work order dashboard here for your project managers to make their life a little easier. So from this one location, they can create a work order for any project and any employee. They can filter the work orders by the two types, project and service. and the different statuses work orders have. When you go inside of a work order, you can see what type it is. Is it a project or service? You can give a work order a title. You can put hours to a work order because there's a clock in button right here for the technicians. When the technician hits the clock in button, it already knows the project and the work order they're on. So all they got to do is grab the phase they're working on and hit start time. And now they're tracking time against the project, the work order, and the phase, and they have a live running clock right here. If this work order was scheduled, you could see when and where and who was scheduled to right here. And we'll get into scheduling in a minute. But what we need to do first is we need to add the tasks of what we need the technicians to do. So if we go to the menu right here and go to add line item, the first option to do that is if there's a proposal involved, you can pull that proposal up in front of you by location. You can check the box next to the items you want to bring into this work order and go add to go save, and it'll add the product along with the location of where that product needs to be installed for the technicians so they know. Another option is one of those custom checklists you built. You could bring one of your checklists in from your library if you wanted. If this was a service call and you just want to type in what they need to do, just go to general item and you can type in the individual tasks they need to do. If you're using our inventory system, you can associate an inventory transfer to a work order, or you can bring things in from the various warehouses you set up. So lots of different options there. Also on our work orders, you can add notes by line item. So if there's some special instructions that you need to relay to the technicians, you can do that. Or if the technicians were having an issue in the field, they can add a note and it shows that there's a note to that line item. And if they were having an issue in the field, they could take their camera phone and take a photo of what's going on, because we allow attachments by line item, and it'll show that there's an attachment to that line item. The technicians can check things off as they complete it on the work order, and now you know what's been completed and what hasn't been. And then also, if this was a service work order and something needed to go in for repair, you could create a service repair ticket right from the work order here. Just go to the menu, go to add repair item. You can put in the RMA number, the tracking number, the date you're shipping it out, and then you can set a reminder for one of these time frames that if you don't get it back, it'll send you a notification to follow up with that manufacturer so things don't fall through the cracks. To clock out of the work order, just simply go to the clock out button and hit clock out and stop time, and that'll clock you out. Also on our work orders, we allow electronic signatures on them so the technicians can get sign off that the work was completed. And if this was a service work order and you wanted to create an invoice for that service call, you can do that right from the work order. Just go to add invoice and it'll pull all the information from the work order into our invoicing tool. And then you can sync that invoice right into QuickBooks. For scheduling, when you go into our calendar, you can see a list of all your employees up on top. You can click on any one of them to see what their utilization is for the week. Also, off to the left here, you can see all your unscheduled service and all your unscheduled project work orders so they don't fall through the cracks. You can view the calendar by month, by week, by day, or by list. And then also, if you go up to the menu here, we have some filters. Like if you just want to see your service calendar, just click on service and it'll just filter out your service calls. If you just want to see production, you can do that too. To schedule one of these unscheduled work orders, just grab it, drag and drop it to the day and time it starts. You can color code events. You can schedule just individuals. Or if you guys like to work in teams, you can set up teams in the settings and schedule teams. When you're done, you can hit save. It'll save that event in the calendar. If you need to edit it, you can drag and drop it longer, drag and drop it to different days, and it automatically updates for you. And then also, if you go back to the main menu here and go to filter by, We even let you filter by specific employees, specific projects, and specific dates also. For time tracking, we talked about time tracking against a work order, but as you know, we don't always have a work order. So we have this enter time section where you can just grab the project you're working on and the phase you're working on and hit start time. And now you're tracking time against that project and phase. We have a currently clocked in view where you can see a list of all your employees that are currently clocked in, the project they're clocked into, the phase, the date and time they clocked in, and we do a GPS stamp of where they clock in and where they clock out. And if you do need to clock them out, you can clock them out from here also. For inventory, as you probably noticed, we allow you to create as many warehouses as you wish. So in my example, I got a main warehouse, and then each vehicle has a warehouse. When you go inside of a warehouse, a live dashboard of that warehouse is produced for you. And on that dashboard, it tells you the total number of products in the warehouse. It tells you what products in warning or low stock that needs to be reordered. You can see the cost and the retail value. You can see the last time you did a cycle count. You can see any incoming or outgoing transfers. And then down over here, you can see all your open purchase orders. You can filter them by the different statuses purchase orders have. And then remember earlier when that project manager was requesting product that needed to be ordered or allocated? Well, here's where it went. It's called our product request page. And like I mentioned before, it sorts everything by project. It lets your purchasing and inventory department know what product was requested, what, if any, of that product you have on hand, how many were requested, if it's been sent to the PO queue to get ordered yet, if it has been ordered yet, and then if it's been allocated and what's still needed. So like in the case of this Sony television, I have 2 on hand and only 1 was requested. So nothing needs to be ordered. I just need to allocate one of these 2 to this particular project. How I do that is I click on the product, go to allocation. Because this is a serial tracked product, it breaks all my serial numbers out. I can select whichever one I want to allocate and allocate it. And now it updated everything. So now that Sony television, the on hand was reduced from 2 to 1. Even though you physically have 2, what we're doing here is we're virtually staging it for this project. And now it's telling you you got 1 of 1 and put a little green check mark here saying you got what you need. If we didn't have it, like these Sonance Garden Series speakers, we got a few options. We can go up to the menu here. And the first option is you can add it to our PO queue. And what our PO queue is basically a big depository of all the product that needs a purchase order created for it. So you can create one big purchase order to get your free shipping. You could just create a purchase order for this item right from here, or you can add it to an existing purchase order. So basically, a few weeks before this project's due to go out, you're going to want to see all green check marks right here. And then when it's ready to go out, you're going to go to fulfill request, which is basically creating a transfer to the vehicle warehouse that's going to take it out. The technician that's in charge of that vehicle warehouse will see that incoming transfer. They'll click on it. It'll populate all this product for them. They'll verify along with quantities and serial numbers. They'll verify that's what they have. And then when they accept the transfer, it moves it from the main warehouse to their vehicle warehouse. So now they're in charge of it. And then if you recall, in our work orders, you can associate an inventory transfer to a work order. If you did that, all this product will populate inside the work order along with the locations it needs to be installed. So then when the technicians check it off they installed it, it delivers it to the customer. And then we have all kinds of custom reporting. When you go to the custom report builder, you can build a report for any section of the software. You can select the section. You can then select the fields you would like to see in that report. So what's ever important to you, you can select those. And then down below here are the filters. So again, depending on what kind of report you're trying to build, you'll select the appropriate filters, go get report. It generates the report. The reports are exportable to CSV or Excel, and you can save the saved reports, so you don't have to rebuild it. And we do the same thing with charts. We have all kinds of charts you can build. You can select the chart you want, apply the filters, and then you can hit draw. It'll draw the chart for you, and you can save that to your favorites. And that's pretty much a 30,000 foot view of our platform. If you do want to know more, you can definitely go to our website, which is ProjX, ProjX360.com. It has all the information here. If you'd like to see the video of the demo you just saw, that's right here on the home page. But we have our, pricing that you can kind of adjust, look at our pricing. We do have a live sandbox that you can go under demo, you can register for to go to the live sandbox. Any questions or anything like that, just feel free to reach out and we can answer them. But I want to thank everybody for taking the time to look at ProjX360, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. Thank you.